So it is with great pleasure that I introduce Sevika Sarisha Rameshlall Komal Ji. Sarisha Ji is an education specialist and empowerment author with experience in South Africa and United Arab Emirates. For the past 26 years, her focus has been on leadership development and holistic counseling. She holds a master's degree in education, focusing on childhood and youth development. She is presently researching for her doctorate with an emphasis on an exploration of leadership interventions with a focus on emotional intelligence impact. Sarisha Ji has addressed many forums in her own country, South Africa, as well as abroad, including India, UAE, Sri Lanka, Mauritius, Kenya, and Egypt. She places a strong emphasis on female empowerment and holistic counseling, and has established her own girl-child education trust. Moreover, Sarisha Ji has authored several articles and published her own book, which has been positively received internationally. The book is titled Notes on My Fridge, that is specifically for women's silent challenges in their daily lives. She is the recipient of numerous awards in her country. For the past 24 years, she has been involved in the Hindu Sevikas Committee, South Africa. She is an active volunteer and senior international executive member of SPARSH NGO in Rajasthan, India, where she offers audio and video presentations for women working in rural areas to motivate them and increase their capacity. Since 2013, she has been involved with Phoenix Child Welfare and Sahara that offers ongoing skills training and motivational talks to field social workers and for females experiencing direct abuse and abandonment. Sarisha Ji lives by the quote, "Be the change you want to see in the world." I now hand you over to Sarisha Ji for that session.
So I am Sarisha, fourth generation born and raised in South Africa. And I want to start by making sure that we understand the background from which I'm going to be communicating. And that is from the grand legacy of my Bharat Mata, or our Bharat Mata. I draw inspiration from Mother India. I draw inspiration from the gods and goddesses of that beautiful land, which has inspired so many people, very much like you and I, women who have settled outside of Bharat Mata, and how we have been able to come together as opportunities like this to heal, to empower, and to truly live our very, very best lives. So this morning, we are going to be talking about emotional intelligence. I'm going to be focusing on self-awareness. I'm going to be focused on relational intelligence coupled with emotional intelligence, because I found in the most recent studies, especially during COVID, understanding how we navigate our relationships is so important. So the most important aspects for this engagement today, first is on self-awareness, because we need to be absolutely aware as to who we are. And this is really where the true empowerment starts. The first aspect is self-awareness. The second one that I'm going to be talking a lot about, and we're going to integrate it in our Q&A session, is going to be about understanding how understanding ourselves impacts on the relationships that we share with every single other person. Because we do not live in isolation. None of us here live in isolation. Sometimes we may want to be living on our own, but we don't live in isolation. And then the third important factor that's going to really make it super relevant for the 21st century, and especially for what the world is experiencing right now, 2020 and to 2021, is the full impact of the COVID pandemic. How you and I are going to navigate around the COVID pandemic, how you already have been navigating around COVID pandemic through all the kind of atrocities, as well as spiritual awakening that have taken place during this COVID pandemic. We are going to look at how our awareness of self, how our awareness of the relationships that we share with others, how all of this impacts on our development as a woman, and how it impacts on us as truly being women, Hindu women, the Hindu Nari of the 21st century. How can we truly empower and lead our lives that enables us to be able to be comfortable in our skin in any part of the world, because we come from the grand legacy of Bharat Mata, because we come from the lineage of such amazing qualities of gods and goddesses. We even have to look at our very recent Rashtriya Sevika Samiti. If we look at the mothers in the organization there, Mananiya Premala Taiji, Avandaniya Mosiji for that matter, the individual who was able to understand the vision and the need for such an organization for women to be empowered. We look at the current scenario, the current platform of Rashtriya Sevika Samiti, Mananiya Shantakaji, Mananiya Sita Didi Anadanam, Mananiya Premala Taiji Mede. These are women who have taken on the responsibility to lead us. They have done it, they are doing it voluntarily. If you look at the age groups from these particular women, they range from the 80s going down into the 40s, going down into the 30s. And then we have Sevikas worldwide. Even the youngest Sevika has just been born. The idea is that somebody had to take the lead to want to empower us. Somebody had to take the lead to want to do something more, not just for him or herself, but something that impacts on the world. And with that introduction, I want to say, this morning, I'm really excited about you and I engaging, because we already have the platform, we already have the base work, and that is, we are already born Hindu. You know, so often we are hearing that to be born human is the ideal. Yes? I am saying to be born Hindu female is actually the ideal. Because if we truly start to implement and truly grasp exactly who we are, the legacy, the grand legacy from which we come from, and start to implement that in our daily lives through all the challenges, I can guarantee that our lives today and going further is going to be one of remarkable success, but most importantly, deep inner contentment that I'm living with purpose, I'm living with passion, and I know exactly the future that I'm going to create. This is what we are going to be discussing this morning. Lovely breath in. Hold your breath. Hold your breath. And now we're going to count to the 7, and we're going to exhale with a beautiful smile. 1, 2, 3, 4, more. I want to see those smiles. 6 and 7. Well done. One more time. And lovely breath in, everybody. Beautiful breath in. 1, 2, exhale with a beautiful smile. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yay, excellent. Thank you for that. Sarisha. Thank you very much. Thank you. For this morning, the first buzzword is reflective. Can you repeat after me? Reflective.
Reflective.
Thank you. So we are going to use this opportunity, number one, for whatever we're going to be discussing and sharing with each other, to be a reflective person. Okay? That is absolute key in any aspect of our life. I look already at the questions on the chat, and I want to say thank you for those beautiful questions on the chat. The one question talks about how can we empower ourselves? What a fantastic question. The first most important aspect of empowerment is awareness. And awareness comes only from us being able to reflect upon who we are as people and what we think of ourselves. Who we are as people and what we think of ourselves. So reflection is extremely, extremely important. Now I want us to talk about the introductory to emotional intelligence. We know that many of you here have already studied, and I'm so grateful for the wonderful wide age gap that we have present here today. We are in academic studies. We have been at school. We have academic studies. we are involved in our work environments at quite senior levels. We know that there's so much of buzzword about emotional intelligence, yes? So we have an idea what EQ or emotional intelligence is. We also know that when we were at school, there was a lot of talk about IQ. That means, what is our intelligence quotient? How intelligent are we? People grouped us into different fields based on what they thought our intelligence levels were. Yes or no, ladies? Yeah, thank you for that. So previously, there was a whole lot of conversation about our IQ, how intelligent we are as people. Now, what we have found now in the last 30, 35, 40 years is that it's no more only about your intelligent quotient. It actually is about your emotional quotient. How emotionally available are you as a person to truly engage in your world? How do you understand one's emotions? Now, I'll tell you why this is so important. It's important because if we look at people who have fantastic IQs, they get the most amazing marks, 100%ers. They get the best jobs, yes? They get the best jobs. But the challenge is they are not able to actually work effectively in that work environment. Because when we are working in any environment, even if we're just sitting in our little office space, we are still expected to communicate with other people. Yes, we are always expected to be engaging with other people. So that's why it is so important that even though we have very strong IQs, we are super intelligent cognitively, we need to be able to start developing and the awareness of our emotions. How do we feel? And how that impacts in our self-awareness first, because self-awareness is key. If I understand myself, if I understand who I am, if I understand what my role is, if I understand my strengths, my challenges as a woman, this way I'm able to then understand how to engage more effectively. Number one, with my family. Number two, with my local community. Number three, with the broader society. And number four, with the entire rest of the world. But the key starts with self-awareness. So understanding one's emotions, understanding how my feelings impacts on me as a person is very important, very crucial. Because from this understanding, I'm able to now effectively engage with everybody else around me. So the first question that spoke about, how do I become a leader? You become a leader by understanding that having intelligence is very important. We must be smart women. We have to ensure that we are studying, upskilling, we are constantly upgrading our skills. We are lifelong learners. So any opportunity that we get to include ourselves in narratives like this here, dialogues like this here, where we are learning, engaging, we should be part of, because empowering our intelligence is super important. But understanding emotions, for me as a practitioner, and having the blessed experience of working with and engaging with women from many different international communities, we found that the one key is understanding emotions. What is it that makes us extremely happy as people? What are the qualities that makes us extremely neutral, balanced, grounded? How do you feel joy? What are the triggers for anger? What are the triggers for deep passion? What are the kind of things that we as people need to understand to grow holistically as a being? So emotional intelligence focuses on feelings.
My name is Chaya, and I experienced relief today during my work hours because my boss, he has new people coming in, and I was super relieved that they know how to use the computer and how to do forms electronically. So they saved me so much, and I felt very relieved.
You felt very, what is the emotion you felt?
Relief.
Relief, thank you.
Yeah.
I like the way that you were able to understand the context of.
This is Crystal from Trinidad. I felt very appreciative today. I wasn't so well today, got a migraine, and my husband stepped up and was able to help out with the children whilst I was able to take some downtime. So I was very appreciative of being able to enjoy that.
Oh, how beautiful, Crystal Ji. And also, he's a keeper. He's a long-term keeper. Well done. Thank you for that. So you understand the emotion of appreciated, that I feel appreciated. So when certain things are happening around you, you are responding by the emotion of appreciation. Yes? Thank you so much for that. Anybody felt a trigger of maybe anger, unhappiness, irritation? Anybody?
Yes. Hi, Sitano.
Yes.
I felt loved and appreciated today because my toddler drew me a card. She drew me a flower and she gave me a kiss. So I felt loved and appreciated today.
How
Also,
amazing.
I'm thankful because my husband helped me with some schoolwork as well. So he sat down and helped me. So many emotions today.
Fantastic. So Laura Ji, he also is a keeper for sure.
Yes.
I love the way, again, you were able to understand what was going on around you and you summed it up and your emotion responded. You had a feeling that was perfectly tuned to what was happening. So this is what we're getting to, okay? When we're speaking to our friends, again, how are you doing? I'm okay. The word okay, what does it actually mean? What does it mean? When we speak and communicate with people, the challenge is that so often we don't even know how to identify our feelings appropriately. We don't know how to actually I'm going to say label. We don't know how to label the emotion with the experience that's going around. So this is one of the first important things that we need to understand. Like so beautifully, the three speakers that spoke right now, they were able to understand what happened or what was taking place, and their emotion was a perfect response to it. So they labeled it fantastically and they responded to it fantastically. Okay, imagine the person that you totally dislike suddenly walks into the room and you are in the room. Okay, you really don't like this person. What happens to you? Anybody? Pujaji, you want to try for me?
I think I'll be more angry.
Explain to me what happens.
I don't know. I think I will walk out instead.
You will walk out. So you will respond in a physical way. You will respond in a physical way. Now let's understand this, okay? What happens if we are in a work environment, we are in a family situation, okay? Can we just walk away? No, we can't. We can't. We have to be able to interact. We have to be able to engage. Because remember, although self-awareness is super important and understanding ourselves is really important, it's crucial for us to understand how we engage with others, because we do not live in isolation. You and I do not live in isolation. Whilst we may want to work on our own, we may want to live in our own sometimes, we don't live, we have to be communicating. So if we understand a negative emotion, if somebody that I really don't like, they suddenly appear at my door and they're standing there, do you know what happens to our bodies? Firstly, our bodies goes into stress mode. The shoulders starts immediately. The back of the neck follows. And then you would notice a lot of the physical symptoms like into your stomach. Children, when they're very nervous, when they're scared, even you and I as females, when we're very nervous, we're scared, what happens to our stomach? Acid indigestion, reflux, okay? Our body starts to immediately respond to the stress because we are looking at the person and go, I do not like this woman. I do not like this man. Bad news. So we are giving ourselves the narrative that this experience is not going to be a good experience. Okay? And the challenge is this here. When we understand that emotion, and if we are continuously responding in physical anger, means we tense our bodies, our forehead starts to frown, our chest starts to get tight, our stomach starts to become very upset. If this happens consistently, what happens to you and I?
Yeah.
We could get sick.
Fantastic. We get sick. So one of the most profound reasons that I really love understanding emotional intelligence and understanding myself and understanding how my emotions impact on other people and how their emotions impact on me. Their emotions impact on me physically as a person. Their emotions impact on me in my mind. You know, whenever we have really bad headaches, whenever our mind is restless, what happens? We're constantly thinking about things that are not settled in our hearts and our minds. Yes? So it's constantly replaying, oh, I don't know how to do this. How do I understand this? Why is this person doing this? I cannot meet this deadline. This is not acceptable. Okay? So it's circling in our mind. It's affecting us mentally. It's affecting us emotionally. And most especially, it's affecting us physically. But the crucial and important thing we need to remember is that when these things affect us in all these areas of our being, it also affects us spiritually. Sometimes we call God more often, so it's a good thing, yes? But often we start to question even the spiritual relationship we have with our gods and goddesses. Why? Why does this have to happen to me? Why is this going on? Yes? But do you know what is the secret to all of this? Thank you. The secret is knowing that if anything has to change, if there has to be any form of change, it starts with me. As soon as I understand the emotions that are taking place, I understand the feelings that are happening, I need to be able to be the agent of change. I cannot expect husbands to understand. I cannot expect mothers to understand. I cannot expect fathers to understand. I cannot expect my co-workers to understand. I cannot expect my neighbors, my society, the world to understand. But I can expect me, because change starts ultimately with me. I need to be able to know that as soon as I am using all of the resources available to you and I to uplift myself, I need to be able to start to implement. No amount of information is going to have any impact on us if we do not actually implement the information in our daily lives. I can have a PhD and it means nothing. It means nothing. But if the lessons from the PhD, the core important values from that, if I understand that and I implement it in the world, it has impact then. Okay? The same thing with our emotions, whether we are feeling joy, anger, irritation, sadness, confusion. These are all, you know, the emojis that we have on Facebook and all our telephones, our phones, cell phones, mobile phones, all those emotions, a variety of emotions, okay? We need to understand how those emotions impact on us as people, how it affects us in our mind, how it affects us in our physical bodies in terms of stress, how it affects us in terms of relationships. Because as soon as we also respond negatively, the relationship cuts down. We cut down the relationship. We no more communicating with our spouses. We no more communicating effectively with our friends, our co-workers, our colleagues. We don't want to be involved in samiti because, oh, they don't understand me. I don't know them. Okay? So understanding how we respond to the different emotions is very important. But the first step is the self-awareness of the emotion, being able to identify the emotion that I am actually feeling. Can I identify the emotion I'm feeling? Is it real? And what are the contributing factors to that emotion? So we are talking now again about self-awareness and understanding that if there's any change to happen, the change has to start with me. Right hand, I'm going to ask you to place it over your forehead. Turn forward, look into your camera. Can you unmute your camera, your mics for me? So I'm going to say something and you are going to repeat after me, okay? Out of my mind. Now you're going to take the hand and place it across your chest on your heart. And into my heart.
And into my heart.
Out of my mind.
Out of my mind.
And into my heart.
And into my heart.
Thank you very much. So the whole idea is that we're no more only going to be sitting in our mind space thinking about things. We are also going to allow us to be vulnerable. Do you agree that right now you and I are very vulnerable in this present moment, in this webinar?
It means like be open, like give a part of yourself that you wouldn't usually give or be.
Can you repeat that for me, please?
To just be more open about yourself, like in a place where you feel comfortable.
Thank you. I like your words that you used. Open, comfortable. I love those two words. Open, comfortable. Right now, you and I, more so me, have allowed myself to be vulnerable in this space. Because you can respond to me by saying, oh my God, what happened in this webinar? Who was this woman? What was she talking about? And it can be really bad for me, yes? Or you can say, wow, I am so grateful. She put herself out there. She was open. She was present. And she allowed the opportunity of people that she's never met before, but obviously wanting more to come together and learn and engage and share. That is vulnerability. When you put yourself out there without being afraid of the outcome. All of this, what does it really then mean to be female? We are the nurturers. We are the creator energies. Do you want to create chaos? Or do you want to create calm in the world, in your family's world? What kind of energy do you want to come in? In order for us to do that, you need to first be vulnerable. That means I'm not afraid. Now, I want a small caution on that part, although I don't like that word caution, but I'm just going to put it out there, okay? When I say be vulnerable, I don't mean be reckless. Doesn't mean be reckless, but be emotionally available. Be emotionally available to know that, listen, I'm going to try this here. The possibility is it may work. Possibility is it may not work. But I want to live in full awareness of my capacity. I want to try different things. Using the examples of, for example, Rashtriya Sevika Samiti Bharat at the moment. Look again at Mananiya Pramilata Ji Merde. Look again at Mananiya Shantaka Ji. Look again at Mananiya Sita Didi Anadanam. These are women who are on the top, always putting themselves out there so that people like ourselves in over 59 different countries can empower ourselves to live the best possible life we can and truly be agents of change. The next sentence would be agents of change. Hindu women need to be agents of change in the world. But being an agent of change will only start if I'm honest enough with myself, if I understand my strengths, and if I understand my challenges. Okay, I'm going to look at what are emotions? Emotions are the thoughts that are in the mind, and that's linked directly into an attitude, and the attitude expresses itself in our physical body. So emotion, yeah? Can anybody tell me what a smize is? Take a try. Now imagine during COVID, we're all wearing masks, okay? So even though you may have a really beautiful smile, I cannot see that gorgeous smile. How else would I be able to feel that emotion that you are expressing?
Like with the expression, like, you know, like how you could talk with your eyes or something like that.
There you go. Well done. Because the next most beautiful feature of our body is our eyes, right? Yes? I think I have beautiful eyes. Because when I have a mask on and you cannot see my smile, you can most certainly see my eyes smiling. Did you know that? You can see your eyes smiling? Yes? It's called the smiles. Let's try it out, ladies. Let's go close to our cameras and I want to see it. Yeah? I want you to look into your camera and imagine we have a mask. So I cannot actually see the smile through your lips or your mouth, but I want to be able to experience it in your eyes. So the emotion, oh, I'm so happy to be here. And we are smiling, yay. Feel that emotion, get the attitude, yay, I can feel it. And your body responds. And we are smiling. Can you feel the difference? Thank you. Can you feel the difference? Yes. So our emotions are that even though we are experiencing COVID, even though we have to have a mask on, we can still pick up on the energy of people in order to communicate more effectively by using our eyes. Next important aspect, relational intelligence. Now, relational intelligence I found to be really superbly important, especially combined with emotions, and most especially combined now during the COVID pandemic, the last 2020, 2021, and going forward, God forbid it has to continue in terms of COVID. But I found that the understanding of one's emotions with the understanding of how I impact on my relationships, relational intelligence, relationships, all of these things impact on the way we live. There is nobody, there is no one person in the world right now who has been directly involved in COVID, 19 can tell me sincerely they've not been affected sad. They've not been affected deeply emotionally. Nobody. We've either experienced a physical loss of a beautiful family member, colleagues, community members. You and I are involved in religious organizations, so we also know people and people and people. So we're always hearing, this family, somebody has been lost, this person is now no more. And, it impacts us. Or we get that fearful feeling that, in January, my dad was dealing with a whole lot of health challenges. And the constant scare was, please don't let him also deal with COVID. So that fear factor that comes in, yes, we become afraid as people. Now, the reason I love being able to understand my emotions was when we were dealing with this crisis, the way me as a woman, as a Hindu woman, understanding that I have choice at every given time to create chaos or to create calm. What is my role even during COVID-19? Am I bringing in the calm in the home? Or am I also panicking and being afraid, being scared, and actually adding more negative energy to what is already a challenge? So it's really, really important that we understand the fluidity of relationships. You don't need to physically know somebody. And I'm going to give you one example. Poojaji, allow me to use this example, my beautiful. Poojaji and I have never met before, but her energy is so wonderfully contagious. She is born and raised in a completely different world to me. I am fourth generation South African Hindu born and raised, presently living and working in the UAE. She's completely different world, at opposite end of the universe to me. We have never met before. Yet our energies are contagious with each other. We uplift each other because of understanding that what we bring to the world. I can be joyful, or I can really be the unhappy factor in somebody's life. Opportunity. I'm so grateful for the positive responses of all these sevikas who I've never met, but we connected so beautifully. We were able to smile together so beautifully. Ladies, I want you now to look into your rooms. Move around in your room, look into your room, and I want you to find me 5 things that are red in color. 5 things that are red in color. Please look around in your rooms 5 things that are red in color. As soon as you find your 5 things, give me a thumbs up. Thank you for that. I appreciate the cooperation. Five things that are red in color. Are we done? Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, awesome. Who would like to tell me the 5 red things that they found? Anybody? Somebody's voice who I did not hear so far. Anyone? What are the 5 things that you have managed to see in your room right now?
Hi, can I go?
Yes, of course. Namaste, Priyaji.
Namaste. So I can see a murti at my altar. Radha is wearing red sari. There's a bag, a gift bag, that's red. A school bag, that's also red. A purse, that's red. And a tablecloth, that's red.
You've given us 6. Well done, Priyaji. Priyaji, I'm going to use you as an example. So please allow me. Priyaji, can you tell me the yellow things that are in your room without looking? Face the camera as you are speaking. And can you give me 5 yellow things in your room?
The curtains behind me, that's one.
Yes, that's because you put the curtains there, right? Well done. 5 yellow things in your room.
The tablecloth has a gold color, so I think that can pass as yellow.
Yellow.
My altar, the photo frame has gold color. The doors have a yellow color. I don't think I can name any more.
Okay. Thank you so much for allowing me to use you in this example. The point I want to make is this here. Yes, Nikita ji, you wanted to share something with us? Okay. The point I want to make here, energy flows where our attention goes. Repeat this after me. Energy flows. Unmute.
Energy flows.
Energy flows.
Energy
Where our attention goes. Right, listen carefully. Energy flows, and repeat.
Energy flows.
Where our attention goes. Thank you. So Priyaji, I gave the instruction, find red. She was fantastic. She knew 6 things. She gave me 110%. You will get double ticks for that. And then when I said to her in the same breath, can you identify for me 5 things that are yellow? She was able to give me the curtains, and thank God she put the curtains there. She knows the color of the curtains. But then she was not so clear on the exact yellow things in the room. Simply because when I say red, the mind immediately red. And all I'm doing is I'm looking for red. Yes? Yes? When I say yellow, yellow. Now I have to go back and refocus. The very same thing with our emotions. If I'm always saying, I am so angry right now, that's all I'm going to feel. That's all I'm going to feel.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to see. I'm going to see an angry mother-in-law. I'm going to see an angry husband. I'm going to see an angry child. I'm going to see angry co-workers, angry neighbors. If I say, wow, this is such a beautiful sunrise. Look how perfectly beautiful the sunrise is. People will even start looking like sunshine to me. Because my focus is on that energy. I am taking back my focus. I am being the change I want to see in the world. Because I can only control me. I cannot control you. So even though there may be something negative happening, even though there may be a challenge during COVID-19 or in our family relationships, our family work environments, our community work environments, even though the challenges are present, my response to it is what makes the key of being an empowered Hindu female. My response to it is what is going to actually ultimately figure out, am I truly a leader in my home, in my work, in my school, in my community, in society, in the world? Can I consider myself to be proudly practicing Hindu Nari? Can I say that? And how do I say that? By understanding the grand legacy that I come from, understanding the lineage from which I am born, understanding and accepting that being born Hindu female is not a coincidence. We have a greater gift to create. We have a greater life to perform, to live through. And for me, understanding emotions through self-awareness, through understanding my capacity and my capabilities, and bringing it forth in the world by being vulnerable and not being afraid, because I have over 33 billion gods and goddesses who are watching me. They are right now, they're all around me, and some of them are by you because I'm the most vulnerable. Okay? We are not alone. We are not alone. We need to take up the courage and to truly, oh, I have even gooseflesh as I say that. We need to be able to take up the courage and start understanding our role as Hindu women, understanding that COVID right now, as traumatic as it is an opportunity for us in our homes and the wider world to truly be an example of how to live through it and live with grace, live with the dignity of who you are as young Hindu females. And connect with you. This is definitely going to be a lifelong connection from my side. Thank you again, Anushka Ji. Thank you again for HSS Trinidad. I sincerely appreciate this. Is to be educated. And educated doesn't mean to say go to the university and get the highest cognitive degree. No. Education for me means going regular to satsang and listening to learned people, engaging with our swamis and swaminis, engaging with women that are already in your organization right now, in the different bodies that you're in. Who are the women that have already taken the leadership position? Who is the adhikari already for you? Who is the chairperson already for you? Why have they made themselves so vulnerable that they're willing to step up? Why? Because they want to also learn and they also want to share. So sap it all in and be discerning. You know what? If it doesn't resonate with me, I'm not going to take it. But if it does resonate with me, yay, I'm going to use it to empower myself. There are many free courses available online. Go and educate yourself. Figure out what is it that I want to study. And study, don't be afraid. Most of the time we find women, when you say, you know what, how do you empower yourself? Or how do you develop confidence? By making sure that my body is physically beautiful. Yes? We think that that is the only source of empowerment and leadership. No. Of course, having a beautiful body is really important. So exercising, making sure that we are physically fit. I mean, if you know HSS, we focus on physical development as an important aspect, yes? But we also focus on emotional development, spiritual development, going to satsang, listening to learned people, reading, asking questions, not being afraid to ask questions. There are no silly answers, ladies. Ask the question. And on this note of asking questions, I want us to be very clear about something, please. When we are asking questions, do your research enough to get a variety of sources and then be bold enough to work with somebody that you trust. In my case, my first trust persons were my mom and my dad, my mom and my dad. Okay? So whatever I would read, whatever I would engage with the world, Mom, this is what this person said. What do you think? Because my mother and father will not ever give me wrong information first, as the first source of inspiration and information. If they cannot, then I would go to my satsang. I would go to the guru in the satsang. I would go to the swami and swaminis in the satsang. Or I would go to the senior elders in the satsang. The mothers are there. They're always available. Mothers want to share because they have a lifetime of experiences. Don't be afraid to ask. Do not be afraid to ask. If you feel that auntie, she's not going to give me the right information. That auntie responds to me because I'm also responding to her like that. So be reflective and say, if I want her to be responsive to me in a positive and a healthy way, I too have to be positive and healthy. Comes back to me, self-awareness. Okay, so education, expressing emotions, and doing more than is required. Go out there and get involved. Don't only do your school homework, sleep, eat, sleep, ZTV. No, life is so much more than all of that. Even geniuses have 24 hours in the day. Do you know that? Same like you and I. Even geniuses have only 24 hours in the day. So in order for us to also want to live to that capacity, use your time well. Develop holistically. Focus every single day. How am I going to develop myself emotionally? How am I going to develop myself physically? How am I going to develop myself spiritually? How am I going to develop myself cognitively? And use each of these, break up your day and try to find ways that you can fulfill this. And journal in the evening and go, yay, well done, girl. You did so good today. You learned a new thing at a gym today. Well done. You did 10 press-ups today. Well done to you. I spoke to the lady that I never used to like before. Today I saw her smile and I responded. Congratulations in my journal. Well done to you. I affirm me. I affirm me. My space as a Hindu female is ordained. Mother has created the space for me. I want to use it well. I want to share one last thing. Please forgive me. I get carried.
I just want to thank you for sharing your knowledge and wisdom and emotional intelligence, Sarisha Ji. Really thankful. I am thankful. And I'm thankful for the Sevika Imalan for organizing this as well.
Thank you.
Namaste, everyone. Sarisha Ji, on behalf of all the Sevikas here tonight, I'd like to express our gratitude for such a thought-provoking and informative session. I'm sure that we all feel very grateful that you took time out of your schedule to be here with us this morning, tonight, in order to share your knowledge. And if anyone is feeling like me, that we have a lot now to go and reflect on, and hopefully we'll be able to integrate a lot of what we learned today in order to improve our own emotional intelligence. So thank you so very much.
Thank you. Absolute thank you.